All right, welcome back. Episode 116, the longest running series in the history of the universe. Will I ever learn Finnish? Basically, at this point, it's in my interest to not learn Finnish. I gotta drag this out. I gotta milk this. Just kidding, actually. I would I would very gladly accept a Matrix level, whatever, I know Kung Fu moment. That would be pretty awesome. But anyways, welcome in, JF, Polyu, JS. Good to see you here. Yeah, we're gonna practice some Finnish, and I updated my spreadsheet. You can see here, I now have a little chart. I just added this today, which is kind of fun, because what I want to do, I want to review the trailing week. And so this is from my news, like the vocab that I generate from Chocolatier. And so it's going to go back through all of the vocab words from the past 7 days, including today, I think. And so there's 171 total words from the past week that we're not gonna go through all of them. And it's possible some of them, some of them could repeat. But what I want to do in this episode, I already practiced 60 vocab words today. And so this is pretty typical, actually, for me right now. When I get the way I set this up is, I get the Chocolatier set, I copy the text, I give it to ChatGPT and say, give me 30 vocab words, and I tell it some other tedious instructions to put it in a format like this, right? And the format is just this part, these 4 columns. So it gives me the Finnish word, usually in the like the dictionary form. It gives me the English, and then it gives me the example from the news where that word appears. So this one meaning early potato. They were planting potatoes in the news on March 11th, which reminds me, I need to go and start planting in my garden here in Finland. But yeah, so here it is where it's saying like whatever these potatoes were, yeah. And then it gives its own like English translation. And I will say that it's hit or miss with ChatGPT as usual. So there are times where it does a good job. Some days it's like firing all cylinders. It's like, I got you. And then other days it just refuses to follow instructions. And I'm like, what is going on? But anyways, so yeah, it gives an English translation. Of course, there's a possibility that So actually, one time it gave me a word that wasn't even in the example. Like, where did that come from? I don't know. It just made stuff up. But yeah, sometimes it'll do that. Hey AI, what's up? Welcome in. Good to see you here. You were in the Terraria stream last Thursday, weren't you? But yeah, here we go. We're gonna do. So here's how we're gonna do this. So this was from today. The thing is, when I practice, if I practice all of them blind without repetition, and then I can see what my true percentage is. And typically it's 50-50. Like that should give you an idea of how, sometimes I can get kind of close, but I often get confused. And so I get half the words. And if you think about it, there are a lot of like random words in the news, that. So I don't know, 50%, it's whatever. I'm taking it. But I just added this possibility here. So let's do this. And it reset. All right. It reset. And so now, for this will be kind of an example. But yeah, so I can see the Finnish word. I mean, we could even listen to the Google Translate of it, which isn't that helpful. in this case. But it is helpful when I click the review sentences option, because then I could actually listen to it.
Suomalainen taiteilija saa nyt ensimmäistä kertaa näyttelyn arvostettuun Timet-museoon.
Yeah. So sometimes I practice the sentences, and we'll do some of the sentences as well. But yeah, I'm just gonna start with the vocab. I don't know. We'll do 10 vocab and 10 sentences and see how well I do reviewing, because these are all words I've seen and practiced before. There was at least one point in time in the past week when I got the word correct. So I have at least a chance. I hope I do better than 50-50. That would be really discouraging if I forgot all the words within a week, you know. But yeah. Can ChatGPT give correct vocabs? I mean, it's really, really useful for this use case. It's useful for a use case. Imagine that. But yeah, it actually does a pretty good job. And here's the other. Let me show you my look. My spreadsheet is dope. I'll if you know this word, tulimaksu. This refers to a tariff, right? This is like a custom fee, a customs fee, a tariff, right? Boom, customs duty. So I click this, and yeah, I've used this sheet on stream before, but I'm explaining it again just for anybody who's interested. I click this, it shows the English, it shows the example in the translation or whatever, which I don't always read. And then I also have this Wiktionary option. So if I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know about that, I'll hop on over to Wiktionary, and then it shows me, okay, you know, and this is more reliable. This is more reliable. But, you know, Wiktionary doesn't always have every word. But anyways, I'm just using this to help track my reading, you know, because I'm trying to read and listen to Selko Uutiset every day. And I was actually really good at doing it the past week. I did every day except Sunday. And so we're not going to count this. I'm not going to say, I mean, I did know it, but we're going to start fresh, okay? We're going to start fresh. I'm going to go to the next card. It runs a script, and boom, Vienti. I'm pretty sure I know this one. And so yeah, my goal again is to do better than 50-50. I want to get more than 50% of the words correct. So we'll start with 10 vocab words and 10 vocab sentences. I might actually have a better chance with the sentences because of the context. If I can get a few words, I might actually remember the story from the news, and that, you know, kind of, I don't know if it's cheating, but whatever. That's how it is. Yeah, sometimes ChatGPT does go wildly wrong in its hallucinations. And I think typically it does poorly if, so for example, you know, sometimes I can just copy the news into the chat where I've already given it instructions, and it repeats the same task. But then there are times where I'll copy it and put it in there, and it will just do something totally different. It'll forget that I gave it the instructions, and it'll be like, oh, that's a really nice news story. Would you like for me to summarize it for you? You know, and I'm like, or it'll create the table, but the table will only have 3 columns. It'll just be the Finnish, the example, and translation. And I'm like, wait, why did you? So I have to repeat the instructions pretty much every time I ask it. But okay, anyways, let's do this. I'm pretty sure Vienti is an export. I hope. Yes. Right. Boom. Okay, we're just gonna go. All right, now let's see this update. The chart should update here soon. Boom. 100%. We're 1 for 1. Palkio. Oh crap. Oh, I should know this. I remember learning this word and immediately forgetting it. Hold on, let me think for a second. Palkio. 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 I'm gonna, I actually don't know, but I'll guess that it has that it's like... No, actually, I don't. Palkio. My brain is... I'm like trying to go through all the words that I learned, but it's over 170 words. So I don't know. It looks like fear. Pelko, right? Palkio. I don't know. I'm just going to take an L on this. Reward. Ah, that's so frustrating. I think that was from today. I think that was from today's news. It had to do with a recruiting company trying to get a reward. But yeah. Okay, well, there we go. I got it wrong. That's how it goes. Palkio, reward. 50-50. Some of the words are kind of easy. Loppu. End. The end. There we go. I like that I added this little chart that updates. It adds a more like gamified element to it for me, so I can see in real time. But yeah, thank you all you guys in chat. Thank you for being here and for writing in Finnish for me. I apologize that I haven't started reading and translating directly, but I want to start the stream kind of with this review and with this game. So maybe I'll come back and read your Finnish messages to me here in a little bit. But yeah, I'll scan for English. If there's something important, you can tell me in English and I'll try and read it. Which software is this? Share the link. Well, you know, I probably should create a this is just Google Sheets, and I created this Google Sheet. And maybe I could share it. The only thing is, it's like when you create a Google Sheet with your email, anybody who uses it can see that email, or at least because I'm using an app script. I have an extension on here in order to make these buttons functional, where you can press the button and it updates the sheet. I have an app script attached here. But yeah, let me think about that. I would also want to update it for you. Also, like, I mean, the other thing is maybe not that I'm perfectionistic, but like there are a lot of probable mistakes in here, and I don't know if this is really all that helpful. So yeah, but whatever. Wait, I already did this word. I'm just gonna disqualify that word. If we see it again, it's all right. We've done 3. Taloudelle. Well, talos means economy. Taloudelle should mean, oh gosh, this is one of these words. I'm like, does it mean for the economy, or does it mean to finance? I remember there was a word for financing, but I don't think it's that one. Taloudelle. No, if it was finance, if it was a verb, it wouldn't end with an E. It would be like ella. So I'm gonna say it's for the economy. Okay, good. See, this is one of the mistakes I would point out. Like, I tell ChatGPT to put the words in their dictionary form, and to put the root word in the nominative form, and it still does it with the case ending sometimes, which is fine. Like, sometimes it's actually good to see that, because then you kind of learn how it's being used. But hey, we got it right. I'm so happy that we're doing well. We're 3 out of 4. We've only missed 1. Totally. That okay, you don't want to get this confused with other similar words like tuli or tuli. Tuli means wind, tuli means fire, and tuli you will see written on the side of the vans if you go by the harbor, and it refers to customs, like an import duties, basically, right? Yeah, customs duty. Tuli. There we go. Pelko is a bit far stretch. Palkka would be much closer and similar in meaning to palkio. Yeah, I knew Pelko was not related, but it was the closest Finnish word I could think of. But yeah, Lorelai, you found your bus. Congratulations. I hope it's a nice bus. I'm a fan of the bus. All right. I always prefer the bus over pretty much any other mode of transportation. I just do. All right. Because you get on those trains and sometimes the trains are pretty old and it's just like, and okay, maybe I don't understand. I thought I moved to an antisocial country, and you get on the trains. They designed the trains to force Finnish people into the most awkward. Like, why do we always have to be sitting facing each other? With our feet in our bags and navigating the awkward. There's nowhere to look without making eye contact. And even if it's dark outside, that's even worse because you can't even look out the window because of the reflection. You can just see there's just twice as much opportunity to make eye contact with everybody in the cabin with you, all right? I refuse. Out of your head, bro. Tell you easier way of learning vocab. There's definitely easier ways to learn vocab than the way I'm doing it. All right. I'm not learning Finnish to be efficient or impressive. I'm learning it to have fun. I mean, I am also learning it for practical reasons living in Finland, and it's not always fun. But yeah, no, making the spreadsheet for me is part of the fun. But yeah, anyways, I don't know if I said hi to everybody who dropped in, but yeah, I see Lorelai and 27. Maybe I said JS already. I don't remember. You know who you are, the regular people. Good to see you here. Okay, I'm going super slow, but what did I get this one right? I did, I think, right? Yeah, got it right. I'm doing better than expected, but I also feel like I've gotten a lot of easy words. Ooh, this one. I actually know this because I remember it from the news. Varuste means equipment because it was referring to soldiers' equipment. Sotilaiden varusteita, I think was how it was used in the example. Yep. Finland buys more tanks, artillery, and soldier equipment. Sotilaiden varusteita. I am impressing myself right now. I am very proud of me. Tulli maksu was easier than tulli. True. At least with maksu, you know that it's like a fee or a cost. Lorelai, you can sit behind people. Not on the train, but on the bus. I like that you can sit. You don't have to face people. And I strategically sit at the front of the bus. I like being able to see out the window. I enjoy that. Also, I don't use my phone on the bus. In fact, I don't even pay for like a phone plan that gives me unlimited data. So if I'm going to use my phone, it's like I'm going to have to pay. And I'm like that, and that motivates me not to use it. And then it's also nice. It's nice just to sit and watch the scenery go by and to think. Like that's a great feeling. Or sometimes I'll have an audiobook playing. I'll listen to my Game of Thrones books on audiobooks. They're so good. Yesterday, I just finished A Clash of Kings. And the ending was so good. I love Bran's final chapter in that book. It's really beautiful. I don't want to spoil anything. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what happens. But yeah, I love George R. R. Martin's approach to the human heart in conflict with itself. Oh yeah, and JS, I do like the trams. But I don't really live in the city center anymore. So, it's not that often I hop on a tram. And in Tampere, they got a tram. You haven't used a bus except on very few cases when you went to your sister and had to use a bus the rest of the way. Yeah, trams are good. I'm a fan. Today you gave your seat to a blind lady on the bus. That's how you lost your job as a bus driver. Yeah, you're sitting face to face in trains so Finns can stare at the foreigners. That's it. Jeez. At least on Kaukoyuna. Wait, what does Kauko mean? I feel like I should know that. What's a Kaukoyuna? What, you can have phone plans with pay per data here? Yeah. Yeah, you can get a pay-as-you-go phone. That's what I have. I don't have a phone plan. I just use data when I need it. And when I'm at home, I use my Wi-Fi. And so, and then if I need, you can also make calls and texts, you know, on a per call, per text basis, whatever. So that's how I have my phone set up. I've been doing this for years now. I've probably saved like 1,000 euros in phone bills. I don't know. Maybe not that much. But if you think about, like, how much is a phone plan now? It's like 25, 30 euros, which isn't that much. But multiply that out over years, that's hundreds of euros a year. Yeah. And I've been doing this for quite a long time, actually. So probably is maybe over 1,000 euros. But I do spend a little money on phone, on the data, but it's so little. Yeah. The opposite of a lähijuna. Oh, so lähi, I think, means local. So like a local train is kaukojuna. So kauko also looks like kaukana. So it means like a long distance train. So you can sit behind people on the long distance trains, is what you're saying, Lorelei. Those like the regional train, not regional, but the local trains that you take just for commuting in and out of Helsinki. They force you to sit opposite another human being, and I just disagree. It's not so bad. I'm being a little facetious, but I'm a bus guy. Sähkönsierto. Hold on a second. I do know this. This has to do with like power transfer or electricity the electricity transfer. This was from the news about electricity coming from Sweden. Something like that. So I'm going to say the transfer of electricity. Yeah, the transmission. I think that counts. To transmit, to transfer. Yeah. We got it right. Yeah. Sähkönsiirron suurhanke Ruotsista Suomeen on valmis. I'm doing better than I expected, honestly. We're 6 for 7. Tekniikka. Technology. That was easy. Hey, Riseli, welcome in. How are you doing? Unlimited data is so freeing. You have an old deal with Elisa and the price is about 20 euros. That's pretty nice. But I also feel like I want to live an analog life, you know. So much the phone just intrudes in a way that's not healthy. Like very rarely do I get off of Instagram thinking that just made my day better. I'm so glad I scrolled through Reels. You know, no. And not just because it's like a waste of time, but because it actually, I don't know, it feels bad. It actually really messes with you. It shows you content that is disturbing. Anyways, Ase. Oh, what the heck is this? Hold on a second. Let me... Okay. I'm getting this. I'm like trying to think of everything because I was like, well, I know if this is making me think of aste, which is a degree for temperature. So I don't think it's that. I don't think a T would just magically jump in there. Although you'd leave it to Finnish to do some gymnastics, some reverse consonant gradation acrobatics. Or it could be like, I was thinking like asia, like a topic or, well, a thing. Maybe ase is like a topic, a subject. Yeah, I have no idea, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, subject. Oh, a weapon. I should have known that. I got this one wrong the first time, I remember, the other day. Yes, the army must have effective weapons. Aseit. Okay, well, can't win them all. Kantaverkkoyhtiö. Oh, okay, hold on a second. Kanta typically means like national or people. Verkko is a web or a network, and yhtiö is the like a company, right? Or an organization. But I'm trying to remember what this referred to in the context of the news. I think it referred to the grid, the power grid. And it had to do with like the national network operators between Finland and Sweden, I think. Was there another news article that had something to do like with the networks? Yeah, I'm just going to say it's like the national network operator. Yeah, transmission system operator. I mean, does Wiktionary even have this? No. What if I do this? Kantaverkko. Yeah, the electricity grid. So I was right. It is the main electricity grid. And actually, kanta. Maybe I don't know. Hold on a second. Okay, I actually was wrong. Kansa is people, like kansalainen. So I think I was wrong with that, but I still got the right answer. Kanta is base. Yeah. I guess I just easily confused it because typically your power grid is like the whole nation or like a whole state will be on the same grid. But yeah. Don't look at the car crashes, Tyler. Yes, I hate that. Who else is getting all sorts of disturbing content where they're like, oh, here's bungee jumping accident. Oh, here is a parkour accident. Here is a car wreck. And it's just like, how did my Instagram feed just get so polluted? I'm like, I don't get to choose this. Yeah. It's Leo. Hey, welcome in. It's transfer, not transmission. That was from, hold on, let me pull up. From here, siirto. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe, I don't know the nuance. Actually, is there a difference between electricity transfer and transmission? Well, it says here transmission. I mean, I don't even know the difference in English. But I'm gonna still give myself credit, whatever answer I gave. But yeah. Just hoping POTUS doesn't impede your house buying plans any further. Yeah. The things are a bit wild, in the world right now. Aste is a degree, also in the figurative sense. Okay, thank you for that, Leo. Yeah, I knew, Aste, because of the news, always uses Aste for temperature, so I wasn't sure if it was figurative, but that's good to know. You don't think analog streaming is a thing yet, JF? Well, okay, some aspects of my life are digital. I enjoy streaming with you guys, and I enjoy playing video games and, doing stuff, but I don't know. Sometimes it's too much. It's a little too much. So, yeah, I actually have to put limits on like checking Instagram or on watching YouTube videos. It's too easy. It's too easy to go down the rabbit hole. An American should know their guns. The Ase. Hey, well, I'm not responsible for that anymore. I no longer live in America, all right? What am I responsible for knowing now in Finland? Baby boxes? Is that it? Saunas? Sisu? Rally English? Yeah, people is kansa. Yeah, thank you, Leo. I realized that a bit late, but oh, your house savings are in investments, hence the comment. Yeah. The transmission would be more like lähetus, JS says. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, going back to what Leo said, siirto is transfer. Maybe in English you can use both, but those words are distinct in Finnish. But yeah, thanks for that. And oh yeah, Leo, you had just commented. Transmission is what happens when you transmit, as in send. Transfer is the whole process of something being moved from one place to another. Wait, hold on, wait. Transmission. Leo, are you sure that this is a distinction in English? Or is it more like a distinction in Finnish that you're explaining in English? Because I'm not sure I understand or agree with the distinction between transfer and a transfer and a transmission. But Risali, you're pretty sure it's transmission in English? So like, okay, I could, if I'm thinking in English, an electricity transfer, like, okay, how do I would typically, if we were talking about electricity, it would be transmission. Like that's the word you typically use to talk about what electricity does when it's moving. Like the transmission of electricity through the grid. However, if you're talking about money, you would use transfer, like a transfer of funds. Or if you're talking about transferring players, you would never transmit players. Right? You can't transmit players from teams. But you can transfer players from teams or across teams. Maybe transmission, and transmission is like radio. I think, okay, here's my distinction, all right? Listen to me here. A transfer is more like with discrete objects, though not necessarily limited to discrete objects. But if you have like a player or a thing, like an amount of money, it gets transferred all in one go. Transmission is more like an ongoing process that's like the radio waves are being transmitted. Yeah, you wouldn't say the radio waves are transferred. I mean, I guess technically you could say that the radio waves were transferred across whatever. It's like, but it's just a radio transmission. Anyways, maybe that's why I think it works better when you say transmission for electricity, because it's more like radio waves. It's more like this physical particle or whatever that's being emitted and like all at once. Anyways, I don't know. I'm freestyle. I'm a freestyle dictionary. There's definitely a distinction between transferring and transmitting in general. And recently, you're saying transfer is more like physical, concrete things, apart from maybe money. You say transmission of electrical power. Yeah. Oh, you could transmit a single ping from a submarine. You wouldn't transfer the ping. Yeah, so yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you would like, but that's like sound, right? You transmit a message. You transmit the sound. But okay, anyways, well, whatever the answer is, I'm gonna I did get this right. Right? Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Hey, we're almost well no, we are. That's 10. That's 10 10 vocab words, and we got 80% right, and I'm very happy with that. I was genuinely afraid I was going to get 50%, which would be the same as if I hadn't studied, because that's typically if I just open up Selco and I'm reading, I get about 50% of the words. But let's switch now to the sentences, and let's see if I can how well I can do here. Suosituin puolue oli kokoomus. I think I remember this. It's the most popular party was kokoomus, which in English translates to the National Coalition Party, I think. Yeah, the most popular party was the National Coalition Party. Hey, we're starting off well. Let's just keep this going. Oh, this looks hard. Maybe not. Suomalainen taiteilija saa nyt ensimmäistä kertaa näyttelyn arvostettuun The Met Museoon. Finnish? It's like the Finnish artist got now, for the first time, an exhibition at the prestigious arvostettuun Met Museum. Is that? Saw is one of these words that can be a bunch of different translations in English, but I'm just gonna say they got it. They received it, or maybe they achieved it. Whatever. It's an achievement, but a Finnish artist. I said the Finnish artist, but a Finnish artist is getting an exhibition at the prestigious Met Museum for the first time. So to beat the horse even more dead, you transfer power and transmit energy. That's, yeah. However, okay, I'm gonna come back to the dead horse, JS. I feel like transfer power is more when you're talking about political power. Like, there was a peaceful transfer of power with the new administration. Whereas you can still refer to electricity transmission as power transmission, I think. Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, I got this right. I got the sentence right. There we go. But yeah, only one artist. I did get that right. You could transfer chemical energy like moving oil around on a freight ship. Yeah, I'm sure there's all sorts of interesting, I don't know, exceptions and loopholes. Vielä sääennuste. This is what they say when they're like, now for the weather forecast. Or, I mean, vielä means like still, but in this case, it's just like finally, like they do the forecast at the end. The weather. Hold on, ennuste is the forecast, right? Or does that mean something else? Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, the weather forecast again. I don't know. I think I get it right. I feel like this might be wrong. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is wrong? I got it right. Yeah, that's just wrong. See, so yeah, this is a good example of where ChatGPT just kind of goes off the rails. And now for the weather forecast, right? That's how you would translate it, JS, in this context. Actually, let's quickly look up Viela just to see if there's a good word, because there's going to be a bunch of, yet, even, still, another. I think maybe this is why I got confused. I think part of the reason the AI does this is because it's breaking out the sentence or the phrase, and then maybe it kind of forgets the context in which the phrase was generated, and I don't know, maybe. But yeah. It's awkward. None of these words really work well. None of these like translations work well for what it means here, right? It's like one more thing, the weather. So actually, let's update this. Here. Viela. Oh, it's right here? Well, what's interesting is it translates it correctly here. Here's the weather forecast. I mean, it's not correct, but it's a correct enough translation. And then it does it again. Well, part of the reason for this is it's on different days, because Selco always has the weather at the end, and it starts the weather forecast with this announcement via la sääennuste. The weather forecast still to come. It's really trying to come up with something that sounds good. Yeah, here's the weather forecast. The weather forecast again. Maybe it's getting confused because it remembers from the previous news articles that it's like, yeah, it actually is, it's doing the weather forecast again today. Here, let's give it let's say, I like this one. One more thing. Weather. One more thing. Weather. Yeah, it doesn't translate directly. Teen vielä yhden. I'll do one more. Miksi vielä teet niin? Why do you still do that? Oh, and hey, Ecliptic Path, welcome in. Good to see you. You found the stream on your laptop. Now to fix the laptop situation. Oh, the head. I was like, sounded like it was fine. It's the headphone situation for you. So what's cool about my little spreadsheet over here is that once I update it in my vocab, which is sort of the data sheet here, it updates it here as well. Let me turn off the search. One more thing, the weather. Got it right. I like these. I like these short, sweet sentences. Vankilassa on ahtat tilat. I might get this one wrong though, because I don't remember ahtat. Well, okay, in the prison, in tilat is space or spaces, plural. I'm gonna guess it means crowded. Like, there are crowded spaces, like spaces crowded in the prison. I remember that was what the news was about. Yeah, cramped. Cramped? Crowded? I think they're close enough. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Do you think I should get it right if I say the prison has crowded spaces? Let me look that up. I don't even know what is it? Is it ahta? Not in Old English. Show me like the in Finnish. Oh, it's not even here. I guess is it like, okay, well we'll just type it like this in Finnish of ahdas. I would never have gotten there. See, this is the madness of Finnish. You see a word like this. Oh yeah, that's the singular. Oh yeah, what's the plural? Oh yeah, we're going to change it completely. We're going to change the D to a T. We're going to change the A to a double A. And we're just going to forget about the S at the end. We're just going to delete that. And then we add the T at the end for the normal plural. It's like, oh my God, mental gymnastics. Tight, narrow, restrictive, cramped. I said crowded. Crowded implies that there's lots of people, whereas cramped means you could just be in like a cramped space and nobody's around you. So I could be, I mean, it says here overcrowded. And in the context of the prison, it is due to being overcrowded. It's not that the prison cells have magically become smaller like we're in some Harry Potter universe. Like, what do you think? JS says it doesn't mean crowded. It means small, tight spaces. Crowded would be something like liian paljon vankeja, that there are like too many prisoners. Crowded is lots of people. Ahras is like confined, little space. Like the cell is ahras, but the gym hall isn't. Unless the gym is crowded, then it's cramped. I don't have a clear answer from you guys. JS is saying there's a difference. I'm going to start I'm going to start a poll. I'll let you vote yes or no. Did I get the ahras sentence correct enough? It doesn't, look, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to let you guys vote in chat on this sentence. I translated this, if I remember, I said something like, there are crowded spaces in the prison. All right. But ahras means more like cramped, but it can mean cramped due to being overcrowded. Do you think that I was close enough? Well, I see 80% say yes. So I'm gonna go with the yeah. Look at that. And out of 7 votes, 86%. You guys are so nice to me. You know what? Just for that, I don't know. I don't know what I can do to reward you. We're doing well. All right. Even if I got it wrong, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But I'll listen to the people. I'm a man of the people. I'm a people pleaser. So I'm going to give myself credit. Kunta antaa rahaa kulttuurille ja taiteelle. So kunta is municipality. Antaa rahaa means gives money. Kulttuurille ja taiteelle means to culture and art. So yeah, the municipality. So this had to do with the news about the elections and explaining like what the like, because there's 2 elections happening this week, and I actually I got to vote for the first time in Finland yesterday. I went to my library and there was a sweet old Finnish lady who was just so nice to me, and she spoke in English to me, which was really sweet. And she even like came up with the English words for like, I don't know, very specific things like a ballot, you know. But anyways, and that was a very pleasant experience, and also very different from America. I remember trying to vote in America. You have to go and like wait in line forever, or if you vote like it, I don't know, by if you try to vote, what's the word, absentee or whatever, like. It's a pain. But I don't know. It probably depends a lot on where you live in America. But I had a good experience voting. I did early voting. The official election day is on, is it Sunday? The 13th? And we have our municipal and uh, county elections, or I prefer to say regional elections, but it's like the regions were created, if I understand correctly, for managing the affairs of like the welfare and well-being services, like health service things, whereas municipalities are more for like, I don't know, yeah, like culture and art and education and like issues related to public transportation, like really local issues like that. But yeah. Anyways, oh wait, I'm gonna end the poll here because we did that. Thank you for your input. Yeah, the context would be king for the previous. Yeah, that's true. Maybe if I could show, but yeah. Lorelei, you got to wait 40 minutes to vote today. Well, not in my small town. All right. In my small town, I'm a small town man. All right. Maybe I just went at the perfect time. I did go like in the middle of the day when like there probably wouldn't be people there. You know, most people would be like at work. I was able to sneak into the library and vote. But yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, anyways, let's see. I think I translated it correctly. Let's see. In English, the municipality gives money to culture and art. Yeah, that's exactly. And yeah, so I like that the news is like kind of explaining what the elections are about. And actually, Ula has a really good election compass that shows all of like the questions that are related to the issues, right? And then you can answer those questions, and then it'll show you the candidates who most agreed or even who most disagreed. If you scroll to the bottom, you can see who you disagreed with the most. But yeah, it was actually really good to see all the candidates. And also, it confused me at first, and it overwhelmed me because I was like, why are there 40,000 candidates? You know, like, it just seemed insane. I mean, even just to have like, I think if you take the municipality and the whatever welfare county, it was like over 400 candidates to choose from. And you're just sort of like, it's very different from the US. But if I understand it correctly, when you vote for a candidate, it's not just for that candidate, but the vote counts for the party. And that determines the number of seats that the party gets in whatever the council or the governing body. And then the candidates with the most votes for each party get to have the seats allocated to the party. Which I think is much nicer than in America. Or at least it feels like in America you've got a duopoly of two powerful parties that many, if not most people, feel disconnected from, or they feel like I just gotta vote for the least bad option. You know? And of course there are people who are very passionate about voting for one of the two candidates. But yeah, at least it kind of feels like you can really afford to vote for the candidate that you're like, actually, I really like this candidate. You don't have to think about, is this candidate likely to get elected or not? I don't want to waste my vote on a third party. Like that, we have this like game theory that we play in our heads in America. But anyways, okay, sorry. I don't know. I'm going off on a ramble. But yeah. You had to wait 1.5 hours one year, Lorelei. Well, it is good to know that maybe. But Lorelei, where did you vote? If you don't mind sharing, was it like in the city center, and was it during a rush hour time? Or is it like that normally during municipal or regional elections that you just have in some places the polling lines are really long? You tried looking for the Selko Utiset archive, but didn't find it. Actually, hold on a second. Which one was it that we wanted to look up? It was the prison one, right? And if I come back... Actually, yeah, it was this. This. Okay, watch this. It's also possible that this was hallucinated by ChatGPT and that it wasn't actually in the article, or that it changed the sentence from the article. So this is also like a disadvantage. The one thing, though, is that it still usually produces grammatically correct sentences. Here we go. It should be from this article here. Vankilat täynnä. Wait, is it in here? I don't see it. It's like now... Wait. Did it make this up? Hold on, wait. Let me go to English really quick. Oh, wait. Oh, here we go. Wait. Kun, okay. So it made up a sentence that was based on the news. Like, I don't have time to double check what ChatGPT comes up with. I just practice the vocab and I practice the sentences. And then sometimes I read or I listen to the news, you know, and look, my Finnish isn't good enough to catch this, but it does say kun on ahtat tilat. Ja paljon jätkiä. I almost said jätskiä, which would be a slang word for ice cream. I got my yatski. My yatskis. But anyways, hold on, wait. Let me catch up with you guys in chat. Oh yeah, the need to register to vote is also like a huge pain. Like, things are much simpler in Finland. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate or dislike America, like, as my homeland. Actually, I love America. I love so many things about America, and like, I don't regret my life there, or like, but I will say, I don't miss America. But mainly, I think partly just because, like, I'm so used to the everyday life of Finland. And I love being able to just move around society so easily and to live relatively stress-free. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's not totally stress-free. Like, I have my anxieties and whatever, and Finnish people are like notorious or stereotypically depressed or whatever. But like, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I don't miss going to Walmart. I don't miss driving a car on interstates or driving down dangerous roads, like 6-lane roads with a bunch of stores on the side, you know, the driveways leading directly out onto these stroads that people are like going, you know, they're speeding like 10 or 20 miles above the speed limit. It's yeah, dangerous. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just maybe I'm a very simple guy as well. I don't need a lot in life to be happy, so I'm good. I'm good here in Finland is all I'm trying to say. Though if I did go back to the US, I would love to visit more of the like the national parks. You know, like for me, there's still so much of America I haven't seen. Especially like the Pacific Northwest and like areas up like in Montana. You know, I've never been to Montana, or even like the Great Lakes. I've only ever flown through Chicago. I've never actually been like all in that sort of Midwest area. I think I went to Indiana once. I would love to go back and see more, but No plans yet. No plans for any big road trips, so it'd be a lot of fun. Anyways, hold on. Let me... Oh, and Lorelai, you said it was on the evening of the last day and in the city center. Okay, well, that does sound like the most ahdas time. Can I say that? The most cramped time to vote. That's when everyone is like, "Oh crap, I gotta go vote or not or miss out." JS, you still don't know who to vote. You'll consult the vaalikone on Saturday. Wait, what is vaalikone? That's the vote machine? The voting machine on Saturday? Is that like the election compass on Yle or something different? Yeah, I don't even understand the whole voter ID thing. Yeah, it's more complex with many states where you're only supposed to have a vote in one state per election. Yeah. Looking the two-party system from the outside makes it look weird. And hey, Helion, how are you? Tyler rambling on again, so I assume business as usual here. Hey, business has been happening productively as per usual, I will have you know, Helion. We have been doing a quiz. For anyone who just showed up, for the past hour, I have practiced 10 vocab words and 5 sentences from translating from Finnish to English. And this is my ratio. I've got 13 correct, 2 incorrect. And the words and sentences all come from the previous week of Selko Uutiset that I've been, every day I add about 30 vocab words to the spreadsheet with the assistance of ChatGPT hallucinating sentences for me. But you know, it's never that far off, and it's useful enough for me right now, I guess. But hold on, wait, let me... Yeah, thank you, JS. JS defending me. He's done Finnish things. We're just on a tangent here. And I am talking about Finnish culture. And I'm reflecting on having voted in the election yesterday. And that was a nice experience. 17 political parties in Finland. I didn't know there was that many. I mean, of course, there's only like 7 or so that are like, I guess, like quite, I guess, influential or well known. Oh, it was the 1.5 hour wait is at the university building. So okay. It does seem, Lorelei, like that's more of an exception, right, than the rule for most Finnish people. Shopping centers get crowded during early voting. You had a friend queue at Prisma for a long time. Wait, you can vote in Prisma? That's weird. Why does that seem so wrong to me that a voting booth would be in like a corporate space? I get it, like it's kind of a public space where you can go shop, but I don't know. I voted at my library because I'm a fan of libraries, and one of the questions on the Yle Compass, by the way, was about libraries, and it was like the question was like that: do you support defunding libraries? And I was like, no. Well, actually, the question was interesting because it said more than defunding. It said like using more remote and self-service options at the library to reduce staffing cost. And I was like, no. Like, and the libraries are so much more than a repository of physical books to be picked up and dropped off, right? Like, libraries are a place for people to meet and like to get help or advice. Like, you go talk to the librarian when you need something, or and there are also places for like people to have like groups meeting and like knitting clubs and maker spaces, and all of those things often require like a librarian or some kind of someone to facilitate, right? Or at least to manage like the 3D printers and, you know, the materials or whatever tools that have to be kept up. And I don't want to live in a world that is so austere. Like, what is all the money for? Like, what are we doing? Why are we spinning our wheels? To like, if we're not investing in the cornerstones of culture and civilization, like the library, okay? Happiness stems from our depression, at least if we believe the statistics in our famously happy society. Helion, all I can say is I blame the Finnish people. It's Finnish people responding to a single question: how do you rate your life on a scale from 0 to 10? And 1,000 Finnish people every year give an answer that's like, basically like a 7.8. The average is like a 7.8. So, and I mean, the poll is conducted by Gallup, which is reputable. So it's like they probably check their, whatever their sample to make sure it's representative and it's not just a bunch of happy people all responding. It's, anyways. It also helps that when they do the ranking, it includes the previous 2 years. So Finland, already having had good scores the past 2 years, has the incumbent advantage going each year. So their score would really have to go down this year to drop. But anyways, yeah. And yeah, the early voting has ended for this year. Yeah, today was the last day. Yeah. Always found it hilarious Finnish people are both the stereotypically depressed and the world's happiest people. It is one of these paradoxes, or like, I don't know, funny contradictions. Yeah. Though, I don't know. I don't actually know the statistics on depression. And I don't know. Ahras can't refer to time, JS. Okay. I tried to be clever there. A cramped time. It doesn't really work in English either. But ahras can refer to the mind, like a cramped mind. Narrow-minded. Ah, okay. In Doctor Who, if the TARDIS has a problem with his dimensional engineering tech, it could get too cramped at some point. For a second, Leo, I thought you were going to say he should go to a library and get the librarian to help with fixing the TARDIS. I was like, I really was thinking that was where the joke was going. But hey, DV, what's up? Good evening to you as well. You have libraries in Prismas and in K-City markets. Among what? Wait, there's a library in a Prisma? I've never seen that. I've never seen that. Is it next to the Prisma, or is it literally in the Prisma building? Or is it in the building with the Prisma? Do you actually have to enter the Prisma to get to the library? That's what I want to know. And the voting booths are usually where people congregate. Yeah. And JF, for the past decade, you voted in Prisma. That's interesting. I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And JS, you've never voted in advance. I like advance voting. I don't like the pressure of showing up on election day. So actually, election day, I saw that like people organize all sorts of like election events. So like the library will organize like a little coffee, and I think they're also doing it for like a fundraiser where like they're selling treats and coffee to raise money for a good cause or something like that. People are willing to outsource their cognition to AI. Librarians are more needed than ever. True. Yeah. Can't be bothered to vote on Sunday. Also needed food. Usually vote immediately when it's possible, mainly because that way you can evade the campaigning politicians with a good excuse. Already voted. I'll admit So I like to go for runs, and I've noticed that the along the roads, politicians have been putting up their like campaign posters. And I saw a poster of a dude, and and look, I know you shouldn't judge people by how they look, but this guy had the most smug look on his face. Maybe he's a really nice guy. All right, I'm not going to say who he is. But you know when you just see somebody and you're just like, I am not voting. I honestly didn't even know like what party he was in or like what his platform was, but I was like, I don't like that guy. And it was like a gut feeling I had, and and then I did the election compass and I looked at all the candidates, and I had gone through whatever the top candidates that kind of agreed with me, and I was kind of deciding. I was reading their responses, especially the responses that they had to questions that I didn't have a response to because I just didn't know enough about the topic to have a position one way or the other yet. So it was actually pretty helpful to read what people were saying. And as an exercise, I went to the bottom of the list to see who I disagreed the most with, to read their responses. And guess who was at the bottom of the freaking list? The smug mofo. I was like, I knew it. My gut was right about you. And I was like, I don't know, maybe he has as a human being, I'm sure he has redeeming qualities. All right, I'm not going to judge. But I had a validation on a deep level that I was like, I knew the smug guy was, yeah. But anyways, well, I don't know. I don't want to go on like it's fun to talk about the elections in the context of like living in Finland, but I don't want to like devolve into like political debates or whatever on my channel. But anyways, hold on. You guys were saying some other things up here about Finns blame ourselves for most things. Like, is that why you think you get like people report that they're mostly happy? But I feel like if you blame yourself, you would be less happy, right? I don't know. There's a problem with the 1 to 10 scale. Most are used to the 4 to 10 scale from school. Yeah, JS, that is a good point. Like, I don't know. I wish I tried to find if they provided the language, like if they actually show you how it's translated in all the different languages. Because I remember like in France, the grading system is like on a scale of like 1 to 14. But like it's very rare to get more than a 7 or something. Like getting like a 50% is considered a really good grade in France or something, whereas that's a fail in America. Like in the US, you typically have to get at least 60% to pass. And most now with grade inflation, it's like everybody's getting like a 90. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, Helion, you vote for competence. Hope springs eternal. Well, it feels like spring has arrived early. Or should I say spring has arrived at the appropriate time. The time that I think spring should arrive. The weather got really warm this past week. Though, of course, it's now kind of cold again. But at least the snow melted and the sun is shining. But yeah, it's a very warm start to the year. But anyway, I'm getting caught up in the chat. Okay, let me quickly respond, and then we're gonna get back to the questions and see how many I get out of 20. Vaalikahvit, the election coffee. Do you have to look through the Prisma to see the library? For a second, I actually thought like literally. But then I was like, oh, a prism. Okay, I get it. I get it. As a librarian, you appreciate the current discussion I'm having. Well, thanks, Risali. Good to have a librarian in the chat. The librarian in Discworld was not to be messed with. I only read a few of the Discworld novels by Terry Pratchett. They were a lot of fun. I don't remember the librarian. I don't know if I read one of the books that involved the librarian, but yeah. Your theories, Finns just have lowered expectations for happiness. What constitutes okay in America is probably happy in Finland. I think it could be like perceptions, though I do think that it is very different. Like there are, if we're talking about like immeasurable differences in society, like there are a lot of people struggling in America in a way that people in Finland aren't, or there's just a smaller percentage of people in Finland that struggle to the same extent. Just because, yeah, there's so much more support for people, both, you know, from the government, from like whatever the state run or like a state supported programs that help people from falling into really desperate or difficult situations. But there might also be more like social support in terms of family and friends. I've found that like Finnish people often have like, they don't necessarily have tons and tons of friends, but they do have a small group of friends that they've known since freaking preschool. I don't know anybody. Like I the way that I grew up, we moved around so much that like I couldn't name a single person from my preschool or kindergarten. Or, I mean, even from like first grade, you know, like, because all of that happened like in places that I didn't live in for very long. Whereas I feel like in Finland, people aren't quite as mobile, or they aren't maybe at, yeah. So anyways, I just find like people tend to have stronger, smaller networks of friends and family. And I think that's a big predictor for people to feel safe or content with their life. And there's also a difference in the culture of like, and I don't know, I mean, I'm just theorizing. I'm just coming up with a theory myself. So take this with a grain of salt. But like in America, there's like the American dream. And it's much more of a cultural thing to be wealthy or to pursue wealth. And that kind of necessitates a less happy life. First, because you have to work really hard to get it. And that sucks. Like, sometimes working hard can be really enjoyable, but most of the time not, you know, especially if you're trying to make money. Like if you're just working hard on like personal creative projects, then it can be really fun. But yeah, and then the other reason is that you're constantly comparing yourself, maybe more in American culture. You're perceiving yourself as being not good enough or not wealthy enough, not, you know, not achieving the American dream. There's no Finnish dream. It's called the Finnish nightmare. All right. And we're living it, baby. Yeah, no, it's not a nightmare, but yeah, it's very different. Like the Finnish dream is just to like sit in the sauna, hit yourself with a birch branch, you know, jump in a lake, walk in the forest. I mean, I guess there definitely are aspects of the American dream in Finland, or like similarities of like consumption and people buying, you know, wanting to like get big homes, but it's not as pervasive as it is in the US. Like the McMansion suburban, I don't know, expansion doesn't really exist here quite as much. Like people, those like really big homes are like, you have to be like really wealthy to do that. And there's like building code. The building codes are different here. So I don't think it would even be financially possible to build homes the way they do in America. With like yeah. Anyways, I mean, I'm just making theories up. So I said I was gonna read through chat, and now I'm like just going down more tangents. I was gonna come back to this. Okay, I'm putting chat on hold. I know you probably responded very thoughtfully to everything I just said, but let me do 5 more sentences so we get to 20, and then we'll have our how many we got correct. All right. Vankiloissa on enemmän väkivalta. What? So it's like in the prisons there is more violence. Väkivalta. There's more violence. I mean, we did get a little help because we just looked at this. But I do remember the sentence now in väkivalta, meaning violence. So yeah, there is more violence in prisons. So I do give myself credit. I could skip it, but I'm giving myself credit. Credit where it's due. USA taas ei ehkä enää suojele Eurooppaa. Toss? I don't know how to translate toss in this context, but let me just... I think, if I remember, it wasn't translated by the AI, because it's more like the US may no longer protect Europe. Toss means like again, or maybe still. I don't know. I don't know if you can use it to say still. Like the US may no longer, but it's implied in no longer. Like you would never say in English, it may no longer still protect. I'm like confusing myself trying to translate this, but I'm just going to ignore toss because I think the meaning is just that the US... Here's my final answer, and if you disagree, if you think I should get it wrong, say so in chat. I'll look at chat before I click. But my final answer is the USA might not, or may... Yeah. Wait, enää. Wait a second, hold on. Suojele is like... Yeah, enää is no longer. Okay, I was thinking, wait, enää, is that another verb? And I was like freaking out for a second. But it might... Perhaps the US may no longer protect Europe. Yeah, the USA might no longer protect Europe. That sentence is sus. Toss in that sentence doesn't exactly mean again. Yeah. It feels it needs some more meat around it. Here, let me look it up. Let me come here. And the USA might no longer protect Europe. It's from this one, from the radio. I'll just switch to English real quick so I can find it. Or actually, wait, let me see if it's in here. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah. This is the Finnish context. Venäjä on vaarallinen. Russia is dangerous. Se hyökkäsi Ukrainaan. It, or they, Russia attacked Ukraine. USA taas ei ehkä enää suojele Eurooppaa. The USA might not protect Europe any longer. Right? Let me just go check it. Yeah. Siksi Suomi käyttää enemmän rahaa turvallisuuteen. Yeah, that's why Finland is spending, käyttää rahaa is to spend money, spending more money on security, turvallisuus. Okay. Vaarallinen. What did I say? Vaarallinen. I don't know what I said. Look, I'm close enough. All right. I'm close enough in a game of darts. That's how. Toss means in turn in this context, Leo. Okay, thanks for that. Well, I think I still get it correct. I'm going to give myself credit. Okay. 3 more sentences. We can do this. Suomalainen taiteilija saa... Wait. We already did this. That's weird. Okay, next card. Nuoret äänestivät ehdokkaita. The youth are voting. Oh. They're voting for candidates. Ehdokas is a candidate. Right? The youth are voting for candidates. Like they had their own like youth election of something. Yeah, young people voted for candidates. Youths. Merellä jää voi olla heikkoa. I have no idea. So it's saying something. Is this the ice on the sea? Can be, or maybe can have, because it's merellä. Or is this something different? Doesn't yeah means ice? Or is it like another verb, like yada or something like that? It would help a lot if I knew what heikkoa meant. Hold on, let me go to my mind palace. Heikko. I know Heikki. That's a guy's name. What would happen on the sea or the ice? Oh! Is this from the news about Finland making like ice breakers? This isn't too hard. Hold on. Heikko. Does it have something else? Is it not ice? Is it something else? Heikko. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I just have to get this wrong because I don't even know what heikko means. Weak. On the sea, the ice can be weak. Sag. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to check chat, okay? I'm sorry, I'm going to catch up with you guys. Sosiaalisessa mediassa mainonta voi näyttää hyviltä suosituksilta. So on social media, advertisements, or is it an advertisement? I can't remember if that... Okay, whatever. Or is it advertising? Advertising can seem... Voi näyttää hyviltä suosituksilta. It can seem... From good? Wait, hold on. Suositus. Suosittu means like popular, I think, or like well known. Is it talking about like well known influencers? But that. I might have to get this one wrong as well because I don't know. I don't even understand. I can't even think of how to put these words together in a sentence. Maybe in this case, hyvin isn't like good. It just means like very. Is that possible that it could just mean very? Why do I think it can... Advertising can seem very popular on social media. That's the best I can do. On social media, advertising can seem very popular. In social media, advertising may appear as good recommendations. Ah, suositus is a recommendation. Suositella, to recommend. We learned this on Duolingo, I think, where it's like, tarjoilija. Like, can you recommend, something to eat? How did it go? It would be like, tarjoilija, voitko minua suositella jotain syötävää? Like, did I say that okay? Do I get bonus points for that? Well, I got this one wrong, so in the end, my percentage went down a little bit. We were up around 86%, I think, at one point. Well, I mean, at one point, we were 100% because I got the first question right. But, I mean, I'll take 80%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Considering I have over 170 vocab words in the trailing week list. Right? Or I guess only 155. Oh, wait, this is 155 sentences. But if I go back and switch it to the vocabulary, then yeah, you'll see here. 171. I'll even show you. Boom. That we got to choose from. Well, and I already know this next one. Panzervaunu. That's a tank. A tank. Okay, now I'm coming back to chat. Let me reply to you guys. Slight distinction: are voting versus voted. Oh, did I ecliptic? Okay, you're helping as well. Äänestävät are voting versus äänestivät voted. I think I did make that mistake. But I'm going to exert my authority, my power of discretion, and I still get credit. Yeah, this one. Nuoret äänestivät ehdokkaita. Young people voted for candidates. I probably said are voting. So yeah, that was my mistake. But I still got close enough. I round up. I'm a round-up kind of teacher, all right? The ice on the lake made loud noises today, and some cracks appeared, JS. There are times, Leo, when I've seen like people out on the ice when it's like half melted. And they're like out there. I'm like, is the ice fishing really that exciting? Or maybe I just don't know enough about ice. I don't live the life of the ice the way that these old Finnish men do. Sometimes with Selka, one needs to choose an easier, maybe not quite as suitable word in terms of meaning to facilitate understanding. What? I'm not sure I understand, Riseli. Maybe that was to something earlier and now the context is gone. Sorry. Recently, 2 kids fell through the ice. Oh no. A person helped and got one of the kids out. Pelastuslaitos, the Rescue Institute, or whatever. That's my best translation of that. Had to rescue the other child and the helper from the water. Yeah. It's dangerous. People shouldn't go on the ice at all. I've actually never done anything on the ice. It's never occurred to me that I would want to go on the ice. You know, like I don't really think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna walk across the ice. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't occur. I'm sure maybe there could be some fun things, but I don't do a lot of winter sports. And with running, most of my outdoor stuff is just running in winter, and like in that case I stick to the path that's already paved, you know. But yeah, ice on the lake in the winter was very sturdy and nice walking route to avoid icy stairs on the normal route. Advertising is mainonta. Advertisement is minus. I know this because you'll see this on like every other door in Finland. People put a sign on their door that says like a mainostia. How does it go? Mainoksia. Is that it? No advertising, please. Suosittu is popular. Suositus is recommendation. So I was kind of close. Suosittu, popular. Yeah. The Finnish isn't very good. It sounds as if it's translated from another language. Oh no. I don't know. Is it? Some of it is directly from Selko. And maybe that's partly why. But yeah. 100 bonus points. Thank you, Leo. Suositella minulle. Suositella minua. Oh, I said minua. Okay, yeah. So if you said minua, it would be like, can you recommend me to your boss? Voitko suositella minulle jotain syötävää? Needlessly dangerous to go on the ice. Yeah. I'm not an expert, you know, on these things. Ice fishing, sit on a frozen lake for hours on end, freeze your butt and fingers off, and never catch anything. Riveting. Wait, what? Pilkijät on ice are different folks. What is it? What? Pilkijät. I gotta look that up. Is that the word for ice fishers? Or is it pilkijä? An ice fisher. Oh, there we go. They're different folks. There was a news in the past about those sitting on a sheet of ice floating apart from the solid ice. They were probably like, whoa, we're catching so many fish now. The fish are getting bigger and bigger. As they drift further and further out. Sounds like a comic strip. But yeah. Ei mainoksia. Kiitos, Lorelai. You have ei mainoksia eikä ilmaisja... ilmaisjakelua. Eikä puhelinluetteloita. It's from a bygone time of phone books. I saw puhelin. I was like, a phone. But yeah. No adverts, ei mainoksia. None of that. Please stuff in Finnish. But yeah. A laskuja is the better sign. Does that mean no bills? Isn't a lasku a bill? Did I get that right? Yeah, no bills. But now they do it all electronically. You got to pay your bills electronically. But yeah. I'm proud of how much Finnish I understand. Even if it's only 80% and it is in the slowest possible way. But yeah, if I add in this morning, then it's going to be, look at that, 65%. If I add in the practice from this morning. But yeah. Yeah, this is like, I'm getting back into, I don't know, using my spreadsheet more. Like I kind of go in phases, and that's okay. Like I try different things, and but yeah, so what I do is when I start the day, I use the today unpracticed. So I add words, and if the words have not been practiced, correct or incorrect, they appear. And so none appear because I've practiced every word at least once. And then I go review today incorrect. And that pulls up all the words that I got incorrect that aren't correct yet. So they have a 0 next to the correct column in the vocab, I think, over here. Yeah. And I go through all of those, and then I'll practice the sentences the same way if I have time. But actually, I'm kind of curious. We have a little time. We got like 20 more minutes. Let's look at the 10 most difficult words. So my scoring system, just so you know, the way it works. Actually, let me go all the way up. No, wait. Points. Yes. Basically, I give 10 points if I get it correct, and I subtract 30 points if I get it incorrect. So words that have a really negative number means I keep getting this word wrong. Actually, let me look at this word. I'm not gonna look at the English. Hold on. I'm covering it. Hold on. Varmista. Was that the word? That I keep getting that one wrong? Hold on. Let me scroll down so I don't look at the English. Wait, okay. Why do I think it just means like to confirm? Maybe that's why I'm getting it wrong. Maybe I think I know the answer and it turns out to be something different. Let's look. To ensure. That's probably why I'm getting it wrong. Yeah. The minimum distance is intended to ensure that the wind turbine does not disturb nearby residents. So anyways, yeah, so I have a filter that pulls the 10 most difficult words. And this is one. Siirtyä. This means to transfer or transmit, depending. We had a debate earlier. I think either will be acceptable for this purpose. But yeah, to transfer, to shift. In this case, it was about, the responsibility of the smoke detectors is transferring to the companies and not the residents, no longer the residents. Wait, I should do Ome TV streaming trying to speak Finnish? I don't even know what Ome TV is. To confirm is vahvistaa. Okay, I do recognize that because you'll see that on web pages all the time. Like to confirm, there's a button that will say confirm, vahvistaa. Yeah. But anyways, okay, I got this one right. We're just gonna do some difficult words. And yeah, sometimes the way the sheet works, it shows a different word for half a second. But suuttua is to become angry. To get angry. Yes. And this had to do with the with what is it? Yeah, Trump's actions have angered investors. Ehdottaa is to run for office, right? No. What is that? There's a word to run for office. To propose, because like isn't ehto a condition, right? I think, yeah, but yeah, see, this is why these are the hardest words. I get them confused with other words. Ehdottaa, to propose, to suggest. Whatever. To run for office. What's the word for a candidate? Edukos or something like that? Varmistaa. Hey. It was destiny. To ensure. Boom goes the dynamite. Pouta is dry weather. By the way, I don't know if it showed the answer for a half a second, but I didn't see it. I promise. I saw that something was here, but I have very, like, what is it, narrow vision. I can't focus on things outside of my immediate view. But yeah, Powotha is dry weather. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really. What would I be gaining trying to impress you guys with a trick like that? I would only be cheating myself. That's true. I don't think I have any automatic e-billing directly from my account. The only one I set up as automatic is like my rent. And that's the one that it's like a new payment that I create within my within the banking app. You're tired and in a snarky mood, Helion. No, I don't think so. I think you've got a very valid, and actually there is like psychology around this where like your spending and consuming behavior changes depending on how you, like, whether or not you're using physical money or like whether or not some things are automated. This is partly why companies are like, oh, we'll give you a discount if you sign up for our automated, whatever withdrawal. Hold on, give me a second. Well, we already did Sutwa, so that means to get angry, so I'm not gonna double up on that one. But yeah, I got that one wrong so many times, it keeps showing up in the 10 most difficult. Yeah, Ehrokas is candidate. Ah, okay. Thanks, Lorelei. And JS, you're very conscious about your spending. Haven't used cash in years, many, many years. True, like, I only have a little cash, like, just in case. Because, like, you're told to keep a little bit, at least for an emergency or something. But, yeah. Wait, the snarkiness shows in not having energy to internally moderate your thoughts and sayings. Well, I don't feel like you're being too snarky for me. Oh, you use your phone? I do not, 27. I don't know. That just feels like too much. Apple Pay, an Apple Wallet, or like I'll pay from my phone like in an app where I have like the HSL app, for example. Like if I'm buying an HSL ticket, I pay for it on my phone because I linked my card, my credit card, or I guess a debit card. But yeah, no, I don't want to. It feels weird to put my phone up next to a machine that will charge. I give me the physical card. I want to put my physical card next to it. What's really weird is that sometimes when you pay for stuff online, or I don't know, and it directs you to the bank, there's like a, I don't know, whatever, the verification service, and it will show the amount of money that you have in your account, which is kind of weird. Like I don't need to see it. It feels weird that that information is being shared. I mean, maybe it's only being shared with you and not being shown to whatever the retailer or whoever, but it just feels weird that the bank even shows that information during the purchase. It kind of just feels like, just let me confirm the transaction. Like, I've proved my identity, and that, it's not like I'm buying a house. It's like, I don't need to see the total amount in the account that I'm using. I don't know, maybe it is very useful for people who have lots of accounts. Then they need to keep track of, but yeah. Use Google Wallet. You have the Matkakortti, a card you use to pay in public transportation where you load money when needed. Yes, I used to have one of those cards. But yeah. But now I just buy the tickets on the app individually. But yeah. Yeah, it's only shown to you, absolutely not to the seller. Yeah. It's meant for people who don't realize how little money they have left. Oh no. Yeah, it's I don't know. Why do I just maybe it's also I'm just not used to that. I don't know. It's surprise. I guess it just surprises me every time they're like, "Oh, by the way, here's how much money you have in the account." And you're like, Look, I'm aware. I don't need to see that right now. But anyways, let me do a few more of these and we'll wrap up stream. Käytöstävät. What? Well, käyttö is like a use or something. And this almost looks like it's a verb, like it's like they use, but that's not it because that doesn't make any sense. Right? It has to be something else. I'm going to guess that it is a plural noun. Käytöstävä. Or it's an adjective. It's an adjective in the plural. Maybe it's modifying another noun that we don't know, we can't see, but it's sort of like, maybe it means useful or in use. Käytöstävä. This is why it's one of the most difficult words. I can never remember this. It means manners. And the example is käytöstapoja. What? Here, wait. Let me pull up Wiktionary. The nominative plural of käytöstapa. Yeah, usually in the plural. Manners. It's like in English. Yeah, käytös is behavior. Yeah, you appreciate the analog options in life, Helion. Yeah, I do too. I'm trying to do more analog stuff. A sure hint for a compound word is the use of a and ah in the word. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, käytös tapa. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Käytös tapa. That's, yeah, manners. Got it wrong. Keep it going in the most difficult pile. Vienti is an export. I do know that. Hey, Poyu! You were quite quiet here and the stream is almost over. Being social is not easy for introverts. Hey, well, don't worry about it, Poyu. There are probably people who are just pure lurkers. They're the 100% lurker club. And I value and respect them as well. All right, so don't worry. But yeah, hope all is going well for you, Poyu. Behavioral habits. Käytöstavat. You're not an extrovert, JS. I've become more introverted as I've gotten older. And I'm fine with it, you know? Siirtyä is to transfer. Boom. You're doing well, Poyu. That's good to hear. JS, at least in real life, you're not an extrovert. It's not often you meet a truly extroverted Finn. But the thing is, I do think that Finns can be so extroverted unexpectedly. They'll be so quiet, and then you become friends with them, and they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Not all the time. I don't want to say this is a stereotype or a generalization. It might not be true of most Finns. I don't know. But there have been times when I'm like, for a Finnish person, they're talking quite a lot. But that probably means that they trust me, you know? That they actually like me. That's good. So yeah, export. Yeah, introverts unite separately. You're becoming more talkative with age, Lorelai. Turning into your mother. You sound just like your mother, Lorelai. And I mean that as a compliment. All right. Levita is to spread. Sometimes people say you talk too much, 27. Do you talk more than your twin? Or do you talk about the same amount? You got to break the ice with Finns. That's why Finns are so good at making icebreakers. Polyu, that is a 27 level dad joke, all right? Of all the people to make that joke, I was not... Well, it's not that I wouldn't expect you to make it. It's that I would have expected 27 to do it first. I'm sure 27 probably already has made an icebreaker joke in chat at some point. Yeah. Your brother is the opposite, 27. You do all the talking for both of you. I wonder, is that common among twins? That one twin, like you kind of take different roles, maybe? Like one becomes more active, the other is a bit more passive. You've talked to people you meet on your walk sometimes, JS. I sometimes say hello to people when I go for a walk. Oh, I should know this, but I don't. I don't know, to knit. And it doesn't mean to knit. No, wait. I'm going to say it means like to go away or to get off, to put off, to put away, to doubt, to suspect. Sus. Very sus. Wait, what's very sus? What I said? Something I said? Both us, dry weather. And we already did that one earlier, but it was long enough ago. Oh, the previous word, suspicious. Look, I don't have enough brain cell activity to pick up what you're putting down. All right. Varmistaa is to ensure. We got to get this one out of the most difficult list. Wait, what? Sometimes it does the same. When you only have 10 options that it's cycling through, it repeats the same one because it's still, even when you put it correct, it's still one of the most difficult words. It takes a few more hits before it gets bumped down. Käytöstavat. Manners. Well, we're kind of doing all the same ones over. I don't want to keep doing that. We will do a couple of the least recent. And then we'll wrap up stream. Or the least practiced, actually. Aste is a degree. You like sus2 chords in music, Polyu? sus4 works as well. Arpexy is enough. Yeah, some of these are like going to be pretty easy. Valit elections. Sopivas. Oh, wait, no. It changed. You got to wait for the script to finish. Pohjoinen is north. Vähentää. To lessen? To reduce. I think that was lessen. That's good. Wait. Oh, it's doing the 10 least practice. Actually, let's do the least recent. I'm curious about this. Saunominen. Is it like the act of going to the sauna? It is. Laulu kertoo saunomisesta. Oh, this was about the Eurovision song. Was it Bara Barabastu or something like that? Sauna bathing. The poor script has an IQ of 5. Well, it reflects my IQ. All right. Bara Barabastu. Lodged in your brain, JS. Kääntyä is to translate or to turn? To turn. Can it also mean to translate? Because I get those. To turn. To convert. To translate. It is. I am a god of the Finnish language, and it is time to convert you, to turn you to my way of translation. Aikoa. Nope, never mind. Tuuli voimalla. Wind power. Right? Wind. But if it's voimalla, that actually is referring to the place of wind power. So I'm going to guess it is the wind turbine. Like it's the actual turbine. Yes. But yeah. Okay. That was the last one. Although actually this one I don't actually know. Aikoa. Does this mean like time? But why do... No. I know this. It means to plan, to intend. Aiko. Yes. I know I've missed this one before because I get it confused with Aika for time. And I'm like, is it another version of Aika that I don't know of? But there we go. That's it. That was the last one. Did really well today. 69 nice %. A perfect score, if you ask me. Wait, how many vocab words do we have? It better be 420. Oh, it's close. We just, yeah, I should have stopped with democracy. Anyway, it would have been a perfect score. But yeah. JS, you have your sauna later. That's true. I need to sign up for a sauna session in my apartment building. I just keep forgetting. And it's sort of like I don't know what I'm missing out on. It's easy to forget. What, beard growth dictates electricity prices? What? The length of, oh wait, did I say something funny? The length of the sounds and letters matter. Tuuli voimalla, wind turbine, versus tuuli voimalla, with firepower. Well, I tried my best to pronounce it. Sometimes I do try. I do know, and but I don't often notice when I mispronounce things. So thanks for helping me out in those times. And thanks to everybody, for being here for episode 116 of this nonsense. But yeah, we'll continue again next week, every Tuesday, 7 o'clock Finland time. And on Thursday, I do a gaming stream. We're playing Terraria. So if you just want to come and hang out and chill, you're welcome to do that on Thursday. Also around 7 o'clock. Sometimes I start stream earlier, like around 6 or 6:30. But yeah, thank you guys. Everybody that was here, JS27, Lorelei, Helion, Polyu, and Leo, and others who are here. Thanks for supporting me in this quest to acquire the Finnish language. Yeah, we'll continue. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your Tuesday, the rest of your week, and I hope to see you in the next live stream. Goodbye.